then. So second video review for this week is Forever Yours by Melissa Tereze. If you'd like to read my Goodreads review, did just post that the other day. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below, and if you're on Facebook or my blog, there's a link within the post. And this is the video review. So Forever Yours by Melissa Tereze. So I'm just going to say this. Talk about the ultimate Christmas present. That is what this book boils down to. This story, that's what it's all about. It's kind of a novella. It's not overly long, but it is a really good Christmas present, not only for you as the reader, but for the main characters. So it's about Paisley. She's kind of spent 3 years with a broken heart when the woman who broke it, that's Georgina, her former boss, returns at Christmas. So Paisley's faced with kind of a dilemma. Should she give Georgina a chance to explain herself? Should she just ignore her? Should she leave? And, you know, whether she should just carry on her life with her broken heart and never listen to Georgina, or whether she should really give Georgina that chance. That's a lot of dilemma to sort of deal with. And Paisley, she decides to take the chance, just about. And you can't really avoid the boss if you need a job, and she kind of needed a job, and, you know, Georgina wasn't going to make it easy for her to avoid her, let's face it. She'd come back, and the past isn't really all that Paisley thought, as she slowly finds out, but she doesn't find it all out from Georgina. So when the truth surfaces, as it does in these romance things, it kind of threatens to ruin any chance of happiness for both Paisley and Georgina, and it's all really on Paisley whether she's going to listen and accept it, that is the truth and that is what happened. And it's kind of also a little bit down on Georgina as to how much is she going to tell her, and how much is Paisley going to find out without her help, and then what damage is that going to do. So it was really one of those typical romances where the two main characters kind of misunderstand each other a lot. So what I loved about this is, although it was like Second Chance, it wasn't like Second Chance at the same time. So it was really, really good. And it was kind of, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. It was kind of what some people would call cliched and over the top and very Hollywood. But I love anything with a cliche, anything over the top, and anything like Hollywood, because that's the whole point of writing stories. It's supposed to be kind of an escape and a bit different, and not your average everyday realistic situation. It's great when you do get a realistic situation, but sometimes it's great because these things, let's face it, these things do happen, these over the top things, otherwise nobody would know to tell you that they happen. So I loved it. I thought it was great. I completely and utterly found it to be romantic and really quite invigorating as a story as well, because you could really get invested in the characters and the plot and feel that, you know, what was just a little bit more than ordinary. Thrown in Hollywood cliches are what make the story. They work wonders, and they're brilliant for your imagination as well. They just set everything running, and you have a great time like wondering what twist and turn this is going to take you on next, because you can't believe some of it, even though you know you should believe it, because it probably happened, and it's probably happened to people before. That's where the stories come from, and I absolutely loved that about it. It was your typical kind of Hollywood Christmas story. And yeah, I could see it as like a little TV film, I guess. So I say simple novella for Christmas, little TV film with lots of drama, keep you really intrigued. Had some great festive warmth and cute moments, and I just loved it. The whole plot kept suspense, and it balanced perfectly the light-hearted moments with the much darker moments, which really evoked quite a lot of emotion from me. I really was 1 minute so happy, and then the next minute completely empathetic, and it was just amazing. It was such a good story in that respect of bringing you a lot of emotion and drawing you in. I had a fantastic time reading it. I really, really couldn't put it down. I just wish, again, that there was more of this. Georgina and Paisley, they're great, and I would love to have actually seen more of their background before Georgina left. It is covered in the book, and you do learn about it, but I would like to have seen it firsthand, I guess. But I hope, you know, that is more of a story for another time, maybe. And if we do get that, that would be so awesome. But what I loved is Georgina and Paisley, they had angst between them. They had so much romance, but they had so much angst. It was on so many levels, because there was hurt and deceit and misunderstandings, and then there was that love, although it was restrained because Paisley was trying really hard to not give it, and like she'd been hurt, and she was going to make that quite clear. But she wasn't the only one who'd been hurt. You know, Georgina had been hurt, and it was 2 different levels of hurt. Therefore, there were 2 different levels of angst, because one's acting hesitantly and worried about the other one's reaction. For different reasons, and there was a lot of negativity surrounding Georgina's return and the past feelings, you know, with everything that happened between them. So there was a lot for them to overcome as characters as well, so they had a lot to work through, and it was all that which made their dynamic so intoxicating. Like, I was so swept away with, like, both of them, Georgina and Paisley, and I so wanted them to be happy. I was rooting for them so much. You know, it was a bad situation, it was a lot to take in, and it was a lot to understand for Paisley, for Georgina, and for me. But that's what I really, really liked, and I think the characters dealt with it both in very realistic ways, given the situation and the circumstances surrounding it, but also with the Hollywood romance kind of way as well. It was a little far-fetched, but it was so good. It was the reaction you'd want. It's the reaction that you'd be sat there expecting, not necessarily the most realistic reaction, but the one you want as the reader, the exciting one, the one that really makes you love the story. So I just adored them both together and as individuals. They were sweet, and it was so obvious that they were just perfect for one another and that they were meant to be together, and so I loved this. It was just so lovely. So it's a cute little festive read, a bit of romance, angst and drama all over the Christmas, which is exactly what you need. And it was really, really brilliant. I really, really loved it. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of Forever Yours by Melissa Tereze. If you've read Forever Yours by Melissa Tereze, please let me know what you thought of it. I have seen a little bit online of mixed reactions to it, so I would love to know what your reaction is. And if you haven't read it yet, but it's on your to read list, or you're planning to read it, or you're now really interested in reading it, again, it would be great to hear from you as to why, and that it's on your read list, because that's always great to hear that people are interested in reading the stories. And if you do read it, I really, really hope you enjoy it. Bye!